Hey, what's up? It's Rashad. We are the Upon Further Review. Today, want to talk about a show that I was late to, I'll admit it, and that is Severance. I watched the first season in like 2 days, and then I've been watching week to week with with season two. And I just got to say, this has been a very excellent show for a number of reasons. And one of the main things is that it does a couple of things really well. The main thing that it does well is essentially just the whole mystery, like the stereotypical, or should I say prototypical, J.J. Abrams mystery box style of a show. I think they execute that very well. But I'm not gonna sit here and review the whole thing. There's a bunch of creatives, people online who've already done that ad nauseum. So I want to talk about three things that I really focused in on season two, and that's going to be religion, racism, and reticence. The religion is obvious. The racism, depending on who you are, as I see online, is very obvious too. And I'm going to explain the reticence aspects towards the end. But this show, seeing how we have Lumen as a corporation is operating as two things at the same time. One is operating as a conglomerate sort of organization, but dealing mainly in pharmaceuticals. And we see this pharmaceutical company can also produce all their own things on the surface, but underneath is really a religious cult. And they are having their religion being interwoven into the business to the point where people are just being very much cult leader fed this sort of information about the religion, so to speak, very outwardly and openly, and it's not like a secret. It's just it's very interesting to me because let's say you have somebody like Kier, who's supposed to be like their god, like the god of the whole thing, and even how they make comparisons, they make very clear biblical allegory in here. Like for one example, when they were at the Ortbo, and our boy Milchick is reading the story about Kier and his brother, and it's very much feeling like Cain and Abel. Like how one brother was good, one brother was bad, one brother did a bad thing, and because of that, the brother had to die. So that was like very obvious to me, and even just how they have very cult-like sayings. I think that the one thing that really stood out for me this season, well, I saw like two or three times. Once it was in a milkshakes office, and the second time it was in Harmony Cobell's in her room at home, and that is we have to cut in order to heal. So there's this weird like allegiance to pain and the process of pain and having to heal all at the same time. And the funny thing is, it kind of contradicts what they're all trying to do because even at the end with the Cold Harbor and all that, a lot of people are saying like, look, this is just a way to not have the bounds of the severance leak over into, outside of it, even though it's in a controlled environment. That was kind of my argument to people today was like, look, it really didn't work because as soon as you added a variable to it, then it just was like null and void. Mark came in there as Mark Scout, and Gemma was not really Gemma at that point, but still she went with him because there's something that the entire organization does not really understand, and that is the essence of love. So they're trying to account for pain and for misery and even all the things that Gemma had to go throughout the entire time when she was on that floor, and all the 25 different rooms she had to go into with that weird dude, Dr. Maurer. There's no God knows what Dr. Maurer was doing to her in the other rooms that they didn't show us. Like, it feels like he was in there being very inappropriate on several levels, if you know what I'm saying. I like that part of it to me, like they understood like the pain part of it. They're trying to inflict as much pain as they can on somebody to see if if the bond will break. But they never thought about introducing love. And if you look at it, this company is a very unempathetic, loveless company when it comes to the higher ups and on down, because you see how the religion aspect of it. I haven't heard or seen anything about this aspect of love, which is in direct opposition to the more Mosaic or Christianity type model, or even messianic model of a religion. Like they want this Kier figure to be their godlike savior, or even at the end of it, when we see the picture, Mark is sort of like Yeshua or Jesus to them. But in that, they didn't realize that Mark's love for Gemma was going to supersede everything. Like even the Bible says, like love covers a multitude of sins. And seeing how Gemma and Mark left their relationship, when she sees Mark again, the love covers all the crap that they went through, not being able to have a baby, Mark just, basically being an alcoholic, low key at the time, and trying to just be addicted to his work, not paying attention like he did, like just the devolving of their relationship. Even inside of that, when she's outside of the rooms and she's just Gemma, the first thing she said, like, when I'm done, will I be able to see Mark? And then, the weird nurse was like, you'll be able to see the world again. And not really telling her that the world to them is going to, for her, it's going to be death. Because, like Drummond told Maurer, said, hey, man, like after this is over, you're not going to be able to see her no more. And just the controlling of her and trying to just put up all these basically science experiments to make sure that the severance like is like legit, and them having the goal and just the overall headiness to not fully see or fully have the wherewithal to see if the thing was going to work using something else differently was very prideful of them. Because even the whole thing, if you make a picture with everybody in it, random people that really wasn't part of the show, like the ghost Annies from the Orkbo, or even like what was the scary, was it Wiles? Which one? The little girl with the creepy thing, like, what I'm saying, like that was described in the story that Irvin had a dream about. Like that's in the picture too. So if you have as much audacity to do that and not really think outside of your own box to say, hey, we need to test this thing in another way, then that's kind of how, like, a lot of these cult-like religions fall, because they don't really see the totality of what they're doing. They only have this singular focus, and that singular focus to them led to the ending of the show. And even more, just how that religion is and how weird it is to me is like, even when, not even when James just says, look, I've sired several kids in the shadows. So it goes to show me that there's other kids there that are his besides Helly. So it could be Helena. It could have easily been Drummond, RP to Drummond. And I low-key think Natalie is one of the kids too. I really think, because originally, if you don't know, that character was supposed to just be just a regular white character. She came in, they changed it because they liked her. And essentially, she could easily play a biracial kid and Jane be her father. And that would explain to me why she is so weird and so for the company. And also not acknowledging her own blackness, because if you grew up in this weird, I'd rather you take it raw type of environment, you would be weird too. Which kind of leads me to the racism aspects of this. Like, especially with Milchick, like I don't think people understand just how obvious this was. Like they wasn't even trying to hide it, especially at the beginning when we see Milchick have his observation or whatever, or performance review. Rams has his performance review, and before then, he gets a couple episodes before that he gets like a portrait of Kier, but it's like Kier in blackface, and Natalie gives it to him. He's like, "Yo, don't you? I got one of these too. When I got upper management, they really love us here." And he's looking flabbergasted, like, I can't believe these bastards gave me a picture of Kier in blackface, and I'm supposed to be happy about this? Like, he hated it so much that he hid it in the room and put it at the top and pushed that thing back. Like, nah, I don't even want out of sight, out of mind. Let me just do my job the best I can. And even the fact that during his review, we know the review he got. I'm using big words, not putting paper clips the right way, a bunch of other nonsense. You failed at the Orbo. You know, basically like, man, we gave you this position. You better be glad we gave you the position. And you're not doing a good job at it too. So you need to fix this. Even the fact that he went back and put all the paper clips together the right way. And did the what's that little Asian girl name? Oh my God, Miss Casey? Yeah, I forgot her name. Yeah. So even with her, like you can see the trickle effect of somebody treating you not well and then you treating somebody not well in return. So he was straight short with her because he was like, yo, I already know who dropped the dime on me. This little kid right here. So he in return trying to gain some sort of power back was being very short with her, and then used what they told him against him. Like, yo, I'm just going to be short with everybody and use small words and be very direct. And that, again, strips away who he is and tries to have him conform to what these people want him to be. And that's not naturally who he is. Even how Natalie and Milchick have the interaction before he goes into the performance review, and he's like, "Hey, I got the pictures and stuff, man. I appreciate it, but like, sis, don't you think this is weird?" And Natalie is just looking at him with the oddest face. It's like, they're ready, and and that's it. And he's like, I have nobody here for me but me. And I think he comes to that realization, but at the end of the thing, like he's still looking at this like this is a job. I just want to do my job and go home. And I'm not going to be the hero of this. Like it is what it is. And that's the sad part about sometimes where you can have a job that you really don't care for and you have to conform to the job to make people comfortable with your blackness and how you feel about things and how you dress and how you wear your hair and how you use words and how you pontificate about certain things. There's this whole conversation about workplace politics, workplace, microaggressions, like the whole nine. Like it's all there in the actual episode. I mean, in the series, this season. Also, another one that I saw some people kind of touch on at times, and that is Ragabi and Devin. And the thing I didn't see anybody talk about was the fact that Devin couldn't trust the person who her brother chose and picked, right? He picked her to do the reintegration. I understand the situation was weird. She wasn't supposed to know. She popped up. You know what I'm saying? Mark back his head was leaking. She freaked out. Mark is going in and out of consciousness. I understand. But if Mark chose that black lady to do it, sis came in and was like, oh, snap. Again, I understand the reaction. However, you didn't trust your brother. one. And then two, let's just say the reintegration didn't work like Petey. Petey dead because of it, because he wasn't actually letting the process go. I mean, process, do what it had to do, and he ended up passing away from it. Now, if that happened, the blood would have been on Devin's hands, and there would have been no reunion or nothing. But the way the story has to flow is that there has to be some sort of betrayal for Ragabi in regards to Devin, so we can get back on the scene. But the way that she went about it still was like, yo, like, who this black lady in my brother's house? Like, why'd you here? So like for that part, for me, I was like, man, it was kind of disappointing. And you can clearly see that that she really wasn't about that. Also, the person you picked is Harmony Cobell. You didn't call the cops, you didn't call anybody. You called Harmony Cobell. The same lady that lied to you, got in your house, helped you breastfeed your child, and was spying on Mark in his home. So if that's the person you're going to pick over the person your brother chose, like that kind of just says to me that, like, I don't know, you just have this weird, like, you're not really down for the people. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't really care, and that's okay. But like the whole aspect of race and how this weird world responds to it, it's clearly there. You know what I'm saying? And like the last thing I really want to talk about is just this show's reticence. And what I mean by that is that this show does not want to tell you what's going on. It has a reluctance to let you know. It's very reticent all the time. And it's like, we don't want to show you what's going on. There's a very much a ambiguity about how Severance is playing out. And that works to their advantage for a couple of reasons that I like, because one, they're just doing a good job at it. And two, it keeps you coming back. It hasn't bored out yet. It hasn't been like, oh man, like I'm so tired of this. When are you gonna let us know? Because there are some shows that are like that I watch. And I'm like, man, y'all can we get to the point? Like, I ain't feeling this at all. Let's just get to the point so I can find out what the quote unquote mystery is. But this one, the way that it's giving us a little bit, taking it back, give us a little more, then throwing us more mystery. And it's not like overwhelming. It's just super compelling. That is just a testament to I think his name is what's the man's name? Eric, Dan Erickson, the creator of the show. And he wrote a lot of the episodes too. He's doing a really good job with that. So I appreciate that. Also, another thing too, like I was someone on Threads, the website, well, social media site, said the show explained what Cold Harbor really is. And I asked him, I was like, explain or ascertain? Because the show never really explains Cold Harbor. You can ascertain some things from it and say, hey, well, we think that Cold Harbor is trying to, theorize and make conclusions based on what's going on the show. But they have not fully told us in certainty what this is at all. And it's fine. They've yet to explicitly tell us what. Like even at Salt Snack, when Harmony Cobell went home and that whole town was getting high on ether, like they never told us like what they was doing with the ether, because usually, ether is used to cut drugs, like famously cocaine. So what else were y'all doing there? The fact that they left the town ravaged and everybody is just huffing ether. Like it's like, kids huffing paint and Freon in the late 90s and early 2000s. So that part of the story where it's like, hey, we're gonna give you some stuff, but like, is it really that important? I don't know, but we're gonna give it to you anyway. And I like that. Like some of it I really want to know. Like I really wish that we could just figure out what Cold Harbor is and we can keep it moving. But the fact that it's so interesting to me is really good. Like that's the whole part of the show that really hooked me from the first episode. Like it was so confusing. It was so weird. I had to really lock in and watch the show. Because sometimes you can just passively watch stuff and know what's going on. And it's okay. But like for this show right here in particular, like I gotta be locked in watching the entire time and really be focused on it because if not, I feel like I'm gonna miss something. It may not be anything, but it feels like I'm gonna miss something. So I am locked in for that however long, 45, 50 minutes, and I'm enjoying myself. So if you watch this show, which you should have, and if you haven't watched the show, I haven't really revealed a whole lot to y'all. Like, and by the time you watch it, you're gonna be confused and forgot about it anyway. So definitely let me know if you watch the show. How do you like it? I know some people say like, "Yo, this is moving way too slow for me." Totally understand. But other than that, man, like I can't wait for season 3. Season 3 has already been greenlit. I'm not sure how the quality is going to be next season. I'm not sure they're going to have to do some cuts or whatever. But Apple TV Plus is hemorrhaging money. They said they're losing about $1 billion a year on streaming. Apple is a $1 trillion company with like hundreds of $billions in cash flow. So I don't think they're really missing that 1 billion too much. But I hope that they let Ben Stiller, Dan Erickson, and the crew over there just do what they do, man, because they've created a property that has that is rivaling some of the best television that we've ever got, and that's what's up. But yeah, that's all I got for this one. Make sure that you follow us on all the stuff. Please go to theuponfurtherreview.com, sign up, get over there. We're doing special things over there for our special group of people who want to be members to the site and to the thing. Also, IG, FB, TikTok, Facebook if you're nasty. Make sure you check us out on YouTube as well. So, almost at 2K on YouTube. Get us to 2K. Yeah, that's all I got for this one. Till next time.